and as has been previously stated as well, move towards the four-wheeler segment where there is an opportunity for us to grow. We've established a certain level of market leadership in the two-wheeler space. We believe that can further be increased. We're obviously not losing sight of the two-wheeler space. That is our bread and butter, and we want to concentrate on that as well. I think the four-wheeler space opens up another opportunity for us to grow further. And obviously, in terms of moving more towards the proprietary and premium engineering segment, that is an opportunity we're trying to capitalize on, and we're putting our resources also in that direction. Yes.
Okay, and Swasthit, in conjunction with what Alex asked you and what Sumedh just mentioned, if there is a fair degree of ramp up that is happening and working capital needs needed, would it test execution, or do you believe you are well capitalized by having capital as well as cash flows to be able to meet all of these things easily? I think Alex briefly asked you about it, but I didn't quite get the answer that I was looking for, so I'm asking it to you again.
Yeah, so we already have had, more than 20 plants set up in say, the past 2 decades since the company was launched. So I think the new plants that are coming, of course, there will be a ramp-up period required over there where we'll, of course, have to go through the grind of taking a product right from inception to mass production. But we feel like we have the bandwidth, the resources, and the wherewithal to kind of, execute these ramp-ups consistently. Of course, during the ramp-up period, we'll not have optimal EBITDA margin, so there'll be that offset technically. But as my brother also mentioned, four-wheeler and commercial vehicle is a segment that we're targeting. If you look at our growth, we've grown more than 50% as compared to the first half of 26 as compared to the first half of 25 in the four-wheeler and commercial vehicle space. So four-wheeler and commercial vehicles have slightly better margins than the two-wheeler space. So all in all, that's why we're guiding for a stable EBITDA margin going forward. And we feel that we will have all the resources required to execute this ramp up over the medium term.
Right. Hi Swasthit, hi Sumedh, this is Hiral on this side. Interesting points that you made when it comes to ramp up, when it comes to diversification. If you have to look at the revenue mix change because you're ramping up your exposure when it comes to four-wheelers and you're looking at defense and solar as well over the next 2 to 3 years, how will that revenue mix shift happen? And secondly, how will the contribution when it comes to content per vehicle grow from here on over the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, so I can take a part of the question, maybe Sumedh can add more on the defense part of it. I think defense and renewables is an important part of our strategy going forward. So if you look at the defense bit, we've already started working with 3 armored vehicle defense OEMs. So we're already supplying to 2 Indian defense OEMs and also exporting to a large Israeli OEM. So with the Israeli OEM, we're not only exporting to them in Israel, but we'll also look to export to them to other parts of the globe. And this is all across the core capability of what Bellrise does. So we specialize in fabrication, in machining, in plating, painting, and assembly. So we're using all of our key processes, key strategies to kind of move into these new segments. So we're extremely bullish on the defense and aerospace segment going forward. We feel that India is the best cost country when it comes to aerospace and defense, and hence we like to take advantage of that to really grow this segment. Similarly for renewables, I think the tailwinds are very strong in the segment, and we're working a lot on the structures part of renewables, where we're making the metallic structures on which the solar panels and solar trackers sit. And we're doing that not only in India, but also exporting that to North America and Europe. So that in itself is also a large opportunity. I think we'll not be able to get a sense of what the mix will be in the longer term, but we do expect non-auto growth to be robust going forward, and hence for that to reap dividends for us in the future.
Okay, and Sumedh, would you want to add in terms of the content per vehicle as well? What is that going to look like? Because the new proprietary high-margin products is something that will probably drive this aspect. So what does that look like? Because you have your suspension systems, you have your cross-car beams, your steering columns, all of that comes in play.
Absolutely. So I'll add a little bit on the content per vehicle as well as on the renewables and defense side. With respect to content per vehicle, where the 17,500 is what is in the two-wheeler space, and that's how, and we're getting there with the addition of the likes of filtering systems, with suspension systems, with seating columns, which are